wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, our brother DJ Envy is out today, but we have a very special guest, man. Minister Nuri Muhammad. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm blessed and, as they say in Apostolic and Pentecostal, highly favored.
There you go. I say I'm blessed, black, and highly favored.
Yeah, I'm with that too. But I'm thankful to be able to share space and time with you great cultural giants. So I'm honored to be here on The Breakfast Club.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm happy to have you here. And I got to say condolences to you on the loss of your daughter. I'm not even going to lie to you and tell you I know how you feel because I couldn't even imagine, but I'm sending you and your lovely wife healing energy, brother.
Well, thank you, and I need it, and we need it, and we appreciate it. And, because, of course, out of calamities come causes. So we will continue to work to do the work she was trying to do. And that was to help people to heal and learn how to hustle. So that's what we're doing, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, you gave a great speech, how to heal and hustle. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Well, this was a message a few weeks ago, returning back to the rostrum after the loss of my daughter. And she, at 19, wrote a book called How to Heal and Hustle. And it was the product of her having 5 of her associates and friends in high school pass from mental health issues.
Wow.
Before she left high school.
Wow.
So she wanted to teach and train and help and counsel. So she wrote the book, How to Heal and Hustle. So I thought it would be fitting to take a message like that. And from it has sprung a foundation that we're doing in her name, a Heal and Hustle foundation that will be a virtual and a physical safe space where we'll take primarily young soldiers that are struggling with mental issues, emotional issues, teaching them how to properly process the circumstances of life and how to make money, manage money, and find their purpose. That's the hustle side of it. So that's how I was born, my brother.
How hard was it not to put blame on yourself? Because I know we would tend to do that as parents.
Well, it's always the coulda, wouldas, and the shouldas that could plague your mind. But once you understand that nothing that you wanted to do, God couldn't do even better, and yet he still allows it to happen, then you accept it as the irrevocable will of the Supreme Being. And in that, you don't just go through the trial, you can grow through the trial. So, of course, we always have been doing that, but at the end of the day, we know that it was God's will ultimately, his permissive will, for it to be what it is, and we are striving to grow from and not just go through it.
Absolutely.
As you discuss her friends having dealt with mental health issues, how has the Nation of Islam evolved? Because those conversations have been happening a lot more about mental health. So how is that being addressed now?
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had already told us that the root of our problem is a spiritual problem that necessitates a spiritual solution. So the traditional program of transformation that we offer in the nation has always been a mind healing, soul repair training. So we've been on that page, but naturally with it being heightened with circumstances, with the poisoning of the air, the food, the water, with the kind of propagation of negative that exists in arts, entertainment, music, culture, then it's compounded now. So we have been more aggressive at doing it and trying to show really these young soldiers, because this is what the truth of it is, that the greatest healing for my family has come from helping other people that are struggling with it. So it's been, for the last month and a half, I would say 3 to 4 people a week that we've been able to talk to and talk them off the ledge, if you will. And most of them are young people. And so one of the things that we're sharing with them is that a teenage thought and an adult thought doesn't have the same nature. It's different ingredients. Whenever you are a teenager going from boy to man or girl to woman, your body is flooded by testosterone for a man, estrogen for a woman, And thoughts, thoughts are unseen, but they're not unreal. They're electrochemical energy. So thoughts are chemistry. So when you have the chemistry of going from boy to man or girl to woman, integrating with the chemistry of your thoughts, it actually alters the way you think. So what you're thinking as a teenager, you can't trust it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been trying to show that to the young soldiers. And sometimes mothers and fathers are the soundboard that the child will bounce off of. Sometimes it's uncles and aunties. Sometimes it's us in organizations, ministry, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been doing that and using ourselves and this circumstance to allow us to be that positive soundboard that they can bounce off what they're thinking, and we can let them know. Don't trust your mind. That's thinking that you're dealing with right now. And so far, we've had, I think it's 7 little brothers and sisters that I've talked to, 4 or 5 for my wife, that we've been able to help to keep them here to live to fight another day.
It's so interesting when you think about the NOI. I think about things that made me gravitate towards the NOI. It's simply because they healed people.
Yes,
that's literally what it was. They healed people.
Well, that's what this is. The Nation of Islam is in the people business, and the product that we market is the truth that transforms human life. So when you look on a commercial and you see people advertising a product or whatever, they always show a before and an after. If you were to take the before picture of the soldiers in the nation,
that's right,
and you put the after picture next to them, you'll be able to see without a shadow of a doubt that no group, organization, or system has a higher transformation ratio than the nation.
That's right.
Jay Electronica always tells me the Nation of Islam saved his life.
Yeah.
And he tells me that all the time, that he wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Chicago, when he went to Chicago.
That's right. And he's a beautiful brother and a beautiful example of one coming from where he came to get to where he is and going where he's going. And that testimony, again, it's millions of people that have been touched by the explanation and the example of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and whatever we can do as his soldiers to help him out.
Yeah, the NOI doesn't subscribe to cancel culture. They subscribe to council culture.
That's right. That's good teaching there. That's good teaching. That's good teaching.
But yet people are always trying to cancel Farrakhan.
Well, that's the reason. We live in a world that is governed and ruled by the forces of evil. Satan himself is the ruler of this world. The earth is God's, but the systems that run the earth are ruled by Satan. So when you have someone like the minister who has taught on every subject deeper than anyone has ever taught on them before, and he has the highest transformation rate of any group or any person that teaches those that believe in him, then naturally, you're upsetting a system that's making money off of you, keeping profit off of you gambling, smoking, drinking, engaged in foolishness. So when they see him, they know he's a cleanup man, and they don't want the people cleaned up because that's bad for business.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is delivering what he's calling his Swan song.
Look at that.
I didn't like that when I heard it. I was like, I don't want to even think about that. But do you really think this is the last time we're going to hear from the minister in this capacity?
It very well could be. We're not sure. And of course, the fact that he called it the Swan song, and we know what that means metaphorically, that generally means that this is that beautiful last sound that a swan makes before retirement, death, or departure. And so the truth being told, Brother Charlamagne, the minister has already said it all. He's already taught on everything. So we don't need a new message from the minister. We need to study the message that he's already given us. So if it is his last and final address, he deserves to be able to meet and have that rendezvous with destiny that was promised to him. And we've got a lot to study. So this message on the 27th is very important for all that are any citizen of the planet to really listen to and view. It'll be on NOI.org at 2 p.m. Eastern on February the 27th. And right now we're living, Sister Angela, we're living in a time of great confusion, and people are uncertain. They don't know what to do. You watch you watch the thinkers of this world, and one day they got one advice, then they switch up. You know, you gotta take the jab. If take the jab, if you don't take the jab, then you're gonna infect. And matter of fact, those that took the jab take the booster because the jab don't work, and then everybody else, you know, those that are unjabbed. So it's so much confusion going on in the world on that subject and others that it'll be sobering for us to be able to get that perspective that comes from divine. And that's what makes the minister so special. He's not a regular human being. He's a divine man. And the difference between a divine man and a regular person is we have two sights. We have hindsight and we have insight. I mean, we can see the present and we can see the past. And we always say hindsight's 20/20, which means that we normally only see the past accurate. But what makes a messenger or a divine servant different is they have three sights: hindsight, insight, and foresight, which meaning they can see down the line of time and tell us what is coming and what we can do in the present to escape what's coming negative and to secure the favor and reward coming for us in the future. So that's what the minister does. And that's why it's imperative that every citizen of the planet tune in on February 27th at NOI.org at 2 p.m. Eastern to hear the Swan song.
You know, when you look at the Russia-China alliance, and when you look at what just happened in Ukraine, those of us who have been paying attention, we know this is prophecy. Speak to that.
And the beauty of it, unfortunately, in the book of 1 Timothy, there is a mention of how you can really determine whether you're living in the last days or not. And there's a mention of 18 spiritual diseases that will exist. And if you go down the list, every single box could be checked off in the time we're living in right now.
What are they?
I don't know all of them, but it deals with greed. It deals with selfishness. It deals with vanity, being lovers of self. It deals with pride, envy, jealousy. It deals with having strange affections. It's a list that you can study, but all of them. We're living in a manifestation of all of those negatives right now. So we're in that time period, and again, that's to me, what makes it so important and a really a global imperative to tune in to the one that has become and is the mouthpiece of God and the trumpet of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, so we can get an accurate diagnosis of where we are and what's coming in the future, so we can prevent and or secure that favor from the Lord of the worlds.
Where do you think the future is going?
Well, as the scripture says, whenever they were talking to Jesus about how and when and what was going to happen, and he said, no man knoweth the hour.
That's right.
No, not even the Son. So I'm not clear on what the future is going to be because I don't have that foresight. But the blessing, again, of that divine servant, whenever you're blessed with one, and this is the pattern of God, There's a verse in Malachi 3:6 that says, I am the Lord, I changeth not. It means that God has a methodology and a pattern, and his pattern is consistent. History shows that anytime a people are in a mess, there's a messenger. Where there's problems, a prophet is risen. Whenever a people are at war with themselves, a warner comes. When there's a crisis, then Christ is. So we are in a time, and we are a people that are in a mess, a crisis, warring with ourselves, and we got plenty of problems. So if God would give a Moses to slaves and a Jesus to those that were mental slaves and a Muhammad to those that were strung out on alcohol and abusing their women, and give a Lot to a Sodom and Gomorrah, and give a Abraham to a people that were worshiping idols, give a Noah to a people that were fighting and killing each other, then what about us that have all that going on at the same time? So there's a verse that says the last man comes in the volume of the book. Why? Because the people are in the volume of the condition. We got all conditions wrapped up in one. So I believe that when you listen to, look at, and observe the minister, you don't just see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, but you also see Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, Job, Lot, Noah. You see the servants of God manifest in this one human being. So what he represents, when you listen to him, is that message that will clean up that mess, solve those problems, erase the crisis, and stop us from warring with one another.
Minister Nuri Muhammad, how have the past 2 years been for you personally?
Well, it's been I had to do a pandemic pivot. To be honest, because of the my purpose has always been teaching and traveling and teaching. So visiting 40, 50 cities a year became what consumed my time, and it also produced my income. So as that went down, I had to make a pandemic pivot.
What's that look like?
and focus on some other aspects. Of course, teaching virtually is still what it was, but I had to engage in different businesses. I ended up getting into a little trucking. I had a box truck, a semi truck, a dump truck, and did some real estate to just to survive. But we, by the grace of God, it's been a 2-year window of time where you can reflect and work more on self. So I'm very appreciative of it, and the Lord of the worlds has blessed us to survive it, and actually to thrive in it. So we're blessed with this 2-year window of time. Even though we had to make a pandemic pivot, it seemed like we did pretty good. Did you have another book
that you worked on during that time?
I have one that I'm almost finished with, that I started in during the pandemic, and it's probably a couple of weeks out. I have one book that I wrote to the sisters. It's called The Black Woman's Second Self of God. And naturally, we've been getting such good response from the sisters. The brothers are saying, well, when we getting ours? So, God willing, coming in the very near future to a ghetto near you, will be a well-made man.
What did you learn about yourself during the pandemic? 'Cause like you said, you're always so busy teaching, and have you you got that time to be still and probably go into yourself more? What did you learn about yourself?
I learned that I was really tired and didn't know it. That was one of the revelations. I said, man, I didn't realize I was this tired.
Yeah.
Because for the first 2 weeks, I was sleeping 12, 13 hours a day. I was like,
first time in decades.
I said, this is what normal feels like.
Yeah.
But on the spiritual side of it, it helped to confirm that teaching and helping my people is my purpose for living. Because I was sad and really anxious to get back in the field to be with the people. So that, it helped to confirm, yes, this is your purpose for sure. And yeah, you needed a little bit of rest to get yourself ready for this next chapter.
What do you think about the state of Black America right now? If you had to define the state of Black America, how would you define it?
We are not where we were, and we're definitely not where we should be. There's benefits and positives that we've made, and then there's also some negatives that exist. So we still we still have a very, very serious problem with cooperation and unity, which the minister said will solve 95% of our problems. And it hurts to see us still plagued with the disease of envy and jealousy, with the crabs in the barrel mentality that we've had. And the crabs in the barrel mentality is all the crabs in one barrel, and they see one crab climbing out.
Pull you right back down.
And instead of saying, wait a minute, if we can get one crab out with 3 of us helping them, and it's 100 of us, why not all 3 of us just help each one at a time, and we get 97 of them free, and maybe they can tip the barrel over and get the rest of us. We instead of that, we see somebody, we say, who does crab think they are, and pull them back down. So we still have that, and there's a concept of unity that is missing. One, we say the word unity, but we're thinking uniformity. Uniformity and unity is not the same thing.
At all.
Break that down.
So uniformity means we do the same thing the same way at the same time, look the same while we're doing it. But unity is we do different things at different places at a different time, but for one common cause. So the body is set up not in uniformity, but in unity. all the organs in the body, they operate in different places at different times. They even look different, but it's for one common cause, the survival of the organism.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. But so what would happen if our organizations worked like that? Our organizations work like the organs in the body. Different things, different places, and different times, but for one common cause, the survival of us as a people. That's an impediment. Number two, we always talk about unity on the horizontal, but never on the vertical. And for us to be united with one another as brothers and sisters, but not united with principles, with morals, with character, then our unity with one another is not going to last. How can I remain in unity with somebody that might try to molest my daughter? How can I remain in unity with somebody that might steal from me or lie behind my back? So there has to be, for us to really move to where we need to be, unity, not uniformity. We have to be connected to one another, yes, but also have to work on that vertical connection with the Supreme Being, character, and principles. And if we were noble and right and connected to one another, then great progress could be made.
That's good teaching, man. What can we expect from your master teacher during the Swan Song?
I believe that anyone that brings any question to the screen that day, just bring it and watch how the God uses the minister to answer that specific question that can produce that healing that is needed in your life. I don't know all of the ingredients of the message, but I do know that he's poised and he's anxious to deliver this message to the world, and we should be poised and anxious, sitting on the edge of our seat or holding our phone, looking at the screen, whatever we can do to make sure on February 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're on NOI.org, tuned in to the Swan Song.
All right. Brother Nuri Muhammad, give me your information, man, your Twitters and Instagrams and all that.
Appreciate it. It's well, my website is NuriMuhammad.com. I'm on Instagram as Nuri, at Nuri Muhammad, and on Twitter at Brother Nuri, and the same on Facebook, Nuri Muhammad. So any you know, as they say, holler at your boy.
That must be Jay Electronica.
It is. He's calling. I told him you were here.
Brother Jay. Wa alaikum salam, mighty warrior.
He FaceTimed me right away. I can't get him on the phone for anything, but I told him you were here.
Man, I love that, brother.
I love you, and I'll die for you when the war kick off.
Man, I love you too, my brother, and I'll die for you too, mighty warrior. Can't wait to see you in a few days.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also peace to everybody else up there.
Peace, God.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's one of the coldest that ever did it right there.
Yes, sir. This Sunday, February 27th, 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Eastern.
NOI.org.
NOI.org. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
The Swan Song.
The Swan Song.
All right. It's the Breakfast Club, Brother Nuri Muhammad. Thank you for coming, brother.